Hey everybody, welcome back. It is June the 29th and I am about to get my run on. It's only 8 o'clock right now, and I say it's only 8 o'clock, but usually I would try to start earlier. There's been a lot of things going on where I've got to tend to other things first, and part of that is basically getting things in order. So way back in the past, I had a friend who would continuously suggest that I needed to get my own place in order before helping anyone else get their place in order. And, you know, they're not wrong. That's a state of continuous maintenance. However, if we really begin to assess what it is that we need to do in life. And so in some cases, we need to look at something called going without, fasting. So the process of healing even our land, the process of healing our landscapes is a process of tending. And if we heal our landscapes, we can receive the yield, the bounty of our landscapes, the fruit of our efforts. For an example, if we heal our land by planting things that both ourselves and other animals can enjoy, like for an example, if we here in my location plant a lot of okra, which grows fine in these hot temperatures, we would notice a lot of mallow flowers, and those mallow flowers that come from the okra plant nourish a lot of butterflies and moths, and probably hummingbirds as well. I have not actually seen hummingbirds on mallow flowers, so maybe that's not the case. I would need my biologists, my wildlife experts to come together and help document these things, but the main point is that with this one plant that I can occasionally harvest some okra from, I also grow pods that are filled with seeds that have been genetically accustomed to growing in this climate right here, this hot climate. During this last summer, in fact, some of the okra that I grew only produced pods that would just immediately generate seeds. And that's what okra is when you eat it. If you've ever had fried okra, you're eating it and you can see sometimes when you bite the piece in half, the actual seeds that are in the pod that you're eating. But the whole point is that during the drought, something unusual happened. The plant still flowered, the animals that were still persisting still got to enjoy the flowers, and the okra went to full maturity a lot faster than it had previously. And the way that that happened caused a lot of additional seeds to be harvested. And so this particular year, during the second drought, I'm still, I've still got fruiting okra plants. Right now there's okra like every 4 days on at least one of the plants, enough to make a small meal out of. And the flowering has not been as persistent because of how hot it's been. But in many cases, I'll be lucky enough to catch the flower and see there are whole ecosystems that are being supported by that one plant. So here I am talking about getting my run on, and I'm definitely trying to nurture myself by doing these things to address my own health. And at the same time, I'm doing everything I can to try and bring passion and joy to all of those around me. And that's what I'm doing on this channel. Like right now on this channel, I'm trying to multitask because I'd like to get a long run in. And on my smart device, I've got 2 days left this month, by the way, today and tomorrow. And on my smart device, I will have to complete 12 more miles of running. 12 more miles of running. And sorry, that was a crazy, unusual circumstance there. And 8 more miles of walking, or 7.5, I believe, before tomorrow. While this is possible for someone who normally doesn't run more than 4 miles a day max, you know, usually, it's quite a challenge, because that means I would have to do that 2 days in a row or somehow knock out all those miles today. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I'm going to go for these virtual badges one more time. And at the same time, I'm going to tell you, that's not the driving force. I'm only doing what I'm doing because I'm having fun. And some of the measurements are coming from external, I don't know what to call it, devices, external applications. Let's call it external applications. And those external application measurements are something that is just not nearly as rewarding as the internal recognition application that we have on our own inside. So until we have that mustard seed of faith to blossom in to the fruition that it's going to blossom into, until we have that mustard seed, and until it's been tempered, sometimes by fire even, until it's been tempered in a way where it actually can germinate, there might be a lot of people who don't have that joy down in their heart. So I totally agree that yes, I need to keep my house in order, but sometimes when you bring someone else's house to order, that brings a little bit of joy to them. And if you can just bring joy, hope, you know, sometimes that hope doesn't mean that you're just going to be constantly in a state of joy. Sometimes that hope means you might actually only recognize somebody or something for the value after it's passed, you know, if you're not paying too much attention. And in a lot of cases, you might have only recognized one opportunity for love, if you're lucky enough to even recognize love at all. And in those cases, sometimes life catches up, and that love will come to an end in the form of humanity, you know, in terms of how long we live, you know, and how long our loved ones live. So there is going to be, at some point in time, a shift, you know, and so if we can recognize these shifts in advance, and almost prepare for the worst and celebrate the best you can, you know, is basically what it comes to. So for me, yeah, I'm going to prepare in ways that allow me to be physically competent, mentally competent, spiritually competent, and all of those things I recognize balance each other out. And without one, you don't have a complete footing. You don't have a foundation that can stand. And to not have a foundation that you can stand on is basically to have lost hope, and to have lost faith, and to have lost awareness that when we're talking about spirituality, or what some might address as religion, or the concept of what some might call by the word meditation, when we talk about these things, it does not matter which platform we apply this logic to, you know, whether it's Christianity or Judaism or, you know, however many different variants there are. That was just like one of the first things that came to mind. Any of the things that we're measuring by is still a measure. And we have to know in our heart what the correct decisions are to make. And to know in our heart what the correct decisions are to make, our heart needs to be healthy. So again, health is physical, spiritual, and mental. And so no matter how mentally happy I am, no matter how spiritually amazing everything is to me, and how joyous that brings me, if I'm not physically maintaining that, I'm missing a major component. And so recently I recognized that, and I decided to take on this endurance sport of running. And running is definitely something that changes the game for me, because it inspires me in a way where I feel like I am giving joyful thanks to my Creator, to our fathers, to our Father, you know, to my Father. I'm giving thanks to my mother. I'm giving thanks. I'm honoring what has been given to me by basically applying the work volume that's necessary to take care of that physical maintenance. You know, spiritually, I'm still doing what I'm doing. You can see I'm smiling, I'm creative, I'm coming up with music, I'm doing all kinds of things. And also mentally, I am seeing some anomalies in nature that cause me to at least try to share that information as much as I can here, because where else am I going to do it? At what other point in time, while I'm putting in all these miles for my virtual badges, you know, at what other point in time when I'm not having fun am I going to be doing this? This is fun. This is what I'm sharing with you. If you're not getting that, I hope that you understand. You might be resonating at a frequency where I make some people feel insecure, uncomfortable, and in a lot of cases, you might even feel like I contradict myself. That might be true. We all might do the same thing. We're all human, right? So when we tune into things for knowledge, sources for knowledge, what we really need to tune into is ourselves. Once we tune into ourselves and start to recognize clearly that, you know, hey, I'm not under gunfire right now. I'm going to put in the effort to restore myself, my family, and really what you're doing is restoring what was gifted to you. This life is a gift. If you're not doing everything you can to step up that extra step, to move it forward, you know, pay it forward. And the fact is, apparently, based on how it was all said, someone else paid. They paid so that people could understand what went wrong. But some of us, you know, we're cynical. Sin. Some of us are cynical. And for some of us, that very phrase had such weight to it. I feel like it's a weight off my shoulders to not be cynical all the time and not be just immersed in all of the stuff that, well, it just didn't matter, you know? What matters is what kind of help and what kind of health we can restore among one another in these populations, in this time, in this era. And until next time, I hope that you guys understand that, you know, peace is peace, love is love. You don't have to argue it. You don't have to take up arms over it. You really don't have to yell about it. Peace is peace. If you don't know peace, well, sometimes peace will come and introduce itself to you in the means of extreme adversity that causes you to actually slow down. If you're physically incapable of doing some of the things that I describe here, please enjoy the channel for what it is, where I show nature and wildlife so that you don't have to go out and do those things in person. I understand everyone is at a different stage in life. If you are able to do these things, it's possible that you may want to reconnect yourself to nature. Nature is nurture. It's possible that you may want to readdress your own health. Health is wealth. And it's possible that that's why you're on this channel learning with me today. So please click on the thumbs up. Please click on subscribe. Until next time, peace, love, and all that old school stuff. All right, so what was the final tally? I ran 8.07 miles in just over 2 hours, 2 hours and 4 minutes. And I walked 0.44 miles. I think that was in about 10 minutes. I can't really remember what the walk time was. The walk time doesn't matter, and neither does the run time. The whole thing is 8.07 miles is the second furthest I've ever run. I could have easily just ran the whole distance and not walked the last 0.44, and that would have been the furthest run ever. Because I think my furthest run so far was like 8.37 miles or something along those lines. It's somewhere in the description of one of these past episodes here. But I know that this was the first time I ran that far outside. So that included hills, that included the daytime heat. I believe it's only about 85 degrees right now. So, and it's not quite 11 a.m. So as far as what kind of a workout I got, well, I think it was a pretty good one. It was during the cool hours of the morning when we actually had cloud cover, and it included a good amount of the burned off cloud cover, so some pretty good intense heat, but early morning heat, not anything in the afternoon that would cause any kind of what's a good word for it? Well, that wouldn't take my life or put anyone else's at risk for me doing something stupid. So I hope that you're staying tuned. If you're not staying tuned, just keep in mind, you know, I just ran for 2 hours, over 2 hours continuously. That's something I could barely do for 3 minutes continuously when I first started this. So, and that was just about 6 months ago now. I hope that you're enjoying this segment. I hope that you're subscribing. I hope that you're feeling great. And, you know, I hope that we're attracting the right type of energy to one another, and helping each other's prayers become answered as they are supposed to be, you know. And that's about it. Till next time, peace, love, and all that old school stuff.